Good morning, everyone, and especially to our beloved teacher, Ma'am Gleb Sibag. Good morning, Ma'am. We are the Group 2, and our task for today is to discuss about the receptive macro skills reading. Reading is a thinking task. Effective readers do more than simply decode the words in a text. Effective readers think about what they have read, and they know how to use their prior knowledge to access, understand, use, and evaluate a text. Good readers are flexible in how they approach a text and know that each reading task may have a different purpose. They may read for pleasure or they may read to gather information. They may read a text designed to persuade, or they may be asked to read a text that requires a response. Good readers read for understanding, for information, and for enjoyment. It simply means that when you read, you exercise your comprehension abilities and your analytical abilities. It fires up your imagination and stimulates the memory centers of your mind. It helps recall information as well as stabilize your emotions. The importance of a reading habit is that it strengthens mental muscles. We have here a nature and purposes of reading. Reading is such a pervasive activity that we all know what is reading is. Yet, the term reading has not been clearly defined up to date. Reading usually means dealing with language messages in written or printed form. It involves processing language messages, hence knowledge of language. Sound 1979 defines reading as the process of getting linguistic information via print. By talking about getting information, Sound appears to imply that this is a fairly one-way process from writer or text to reader. Although, Sound would not want to appear to be implying this, since he has been an important advocate of the view that the reader interprets the contributes of incoming messages. The problem is present in an ambiguity in Sound's definition. One would say that linguistic information is restricted to information about, say, syntax, morphology, and lexis. We have here the purpose of reading. The purpose of reading, before actually beginning to read, it is important to know the purpose of reading. That is why the reading is being done. Knowing the purpose greatly enhances the effectiveness of the reading. Also, knowledge of the purpose can help one adopt a style of reading best suited for the purpose. Here are some reasons why we read. Some of the reasons why people usually read is that: number 1, pleasure and enjoyment. This is probably the best reason to read anything. You have chosen the material for the purpose of enjoying yourself. Reading entertains you, even relaxes you. However, this will rarely be the purpose behind the reading. One needs to do for academic purposes. Second, practical application. Here the purpose is gain information that you can apply or use in a practical situation. Third, to get an overview. The point here is to get a general feel for the material, to determine whether it is relevant, useful, up to date, and to get a sense of how the topic is treated by the author. Fourth, to locate specific information. Sometimes, you know what you are looking for, but do not know exactly where to find it. In these circumstances, you will be reading with the aim of zeroing in on the information you are looking for.
Fifth, to identify the central idea or theme. The purpose here is to extract the essence of what the written material is trying to convey. For example, you might want to identify the major finding in an experimental article in a journal or the core issue of a discussion paper. 6. To develop a detailed and critical understanding. On many occasions, you will need to master fully the material in a book, journal article, or manual so that you can evaluate its arguments, perspectives, or evidences.
That would be all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and God bless.
Good day everyone, I'm Junilyn Iskuten, Basic English 3A. My topic is reading comprehension skills in reading. What is comprehension? According to Webster Dictionary, comprehension is the capacity for understanding full the act or action of grasping with the intellect. Webster also tells us that reading is to receive or take in the sense of as letters or symbols, by scanning to understand the meaning of printed matter, to learn from what one has seen or found in writing or in print. The ability to understand or get meaning from any type of written materials. It is the reason for reading and critical component of all content learning. Next, it is the thinking done before, during, and after reading. Comprehension is not something that happens after reading. And also, if readers can read the words but do not understand what they are reading, they are not really reading. Purpose of reading. The purpose of reading is to connect the ideas on the page to what you already know. If you don't know anything about a subject, the foreign words of text into your minds is like foreign water into your hands. Before actually beginning to read, it is important to know the purpose of reading. That is why the reading is being done. Knowing the purpose greatly enhances the effectiveness of the reading, and also knowledge of the purpose can help one adapt a style of reading. What are the types of improving comprehension? First, reading comprehension requires motivation, mental frameworks for holding ideas, concentration, and good study techniques. Next, develop a broad background. Broaden your background knowledge by reading newspaper, magazine, and books. The structure of paragraphs. Good writers construct paragraphs that have a beginning, middle, and end. Often the first sentence will give an overview that helps provide a framework for adding details. Identify the type of reasoning. Does the author use cause and effect, reasoning, hypothesis, model building, induction, or deduction? Next, anticipate and predict. Really smart readers to anticipate the author and predict future ideas and questions. Look for the method of organization. Is the materials organized chronologically, serially, logically, functionally, spatially, or hierarchical? Create motivation and interest. Preview materials, ask questions, discuss ideas with classmates. Highlight, summarize, and review. Just reading a book once is not enough to develop a deeper understanding. Pay attention to supporting cause. The study features graphs and headings. Build a good vocabulary. For most educated people, this is lifetime project. The best way to improve your vocabulary is to use dictionary regularly and use a systematic reading technique like SQR3. Develop a systematic reading style like the SQR3 method and make adjustments to it depending on priorities and purpose. And alas, monitor effectiveness. Good readers monitor their attention, concentration, and effectiveness. That's all. Thank you and God bless.
Mabuhay, Philippines! My name is Jeannie A. Samontina and I am here yet again to discuss to you guys about the reading techniques and strategies. So this is the continuation of our report and we shall start in 5, 4, 3, 5. Perhaps some of us or most of us might already know about the 3 basic reading techniques, or I think we are familiar with them now, and these 3 are the skimming, scanning, and extensive reading. But for this video, I will be discussing about the 11 techniques or reading techniques and strategies. Yes, you heard me right, 11. Okay, so first we have skimming. So skimming is used to quickly identify the main idea of a text. So skimming is done at a speed 3 to 4 times faster than normal reading, and people often skim when they have lots of materials to read in a limited amount of time. Now, okay, it is used when you want to see if an article may be of interest in your research. And then there are many strategies that can be used when skimming. Yes, you may read the first and last paragraphs using headings. Another strategy is that we can also read titles, subtitles, subheading, and illustrations. Consider reading the first sentence of each paragraph. This technique is useful when you're seeking for a specific information rather than reading the whole thing or reading for comprehension. Skimming works well to find dates, names, and places. It might be used to review graphs, tables, and charts. Examples of skimming: the newspaper, quickly get to the general news of the day. Magazines, quickly get to discover which article you would like to read in more detail. Business and travel brochures, quickly to get informed. Okay, so we are down to the second reading technique or strategy, which is the scanning. So it is used to find a particular piece of information. It is running your eyes over the text, looking for a specific piece of information you need. Moving on, it is used in scanning on schedules, meeting plans, etc. in order to find specific details you require. Examples of scanning: the What's on TV section of your newspaper, a train airplane schedule, a conference guide, and more. Further, it is a technique you often use when you are looking up for a word in a telephone book or dictionary. You search for keywords or ideas, and in most cases you know what you're looking for, so you are concentrating on finding a particular answer. Scanning is also used when you first find a source to determine whether it will answer your questions. When scanning, look for the author's use of organizers such as numbers, letters, steps, or the words first, second, or next. Look for words that are bold-faced, italicized, or in a different font size, style, or color. Sometimes they also put key ideas in the margin. And then we have the extensive reading, another reading technique or strategy. It is used to obtain a general understanding of a subject and includes reading longer text for pleasure as well as business books. You read longer text for pleasure as well as business books. Example, most common example, reading novels. Okay? It is used to improve your general knowledge of business procedures. Examples of extensive reading: marketing strategy book and novel you read before going to be magazine articles that interest you. And then we have the fourth reading technique or strategy, and it is called the intensive reading. It is used to shorter text in order to extract specific information. It includes very close, accurate reading for detail. It is used to grasp the details of a specific situation. In this case, it is important that you understand each word, number, or fact, because you are reading the whole thing. You are reading in order to understand, to gain knowledge. You are reading for comprehension. So it is important that you read the whole thing and understand each word. Examples of intensive reading: a bookkeeping report, an insurance claim, an employee contract. Fifth is the visualizing. It is used to be able to create sensory images in the reader's minds, so they will be more engaged with the content of the text and will better understand what they read. Moving on, we have monitoring and understanding reading technique and strategy. This means being aware of whether or not you understand what you read. You do not just read, you have to determine whether you understand whatever text you are reading or not. Being able to stop and use strategies to clarify what is confusing, whether it is due to unfamiliar vocabulary or lack of background knowledge, is important to achieving comprehension. So, another, we have synthesizing reading technique or strategy. This involves evaluating, sorting, and sifting through information that is known and new, and we are reorganizing it into a larger idea of concept. Next, we have determining ideas. This means learning to differentiate between the main or key ideas in text and information that is less essential or that serves as supporting details. When we are reading something, we have to know, or we have to determine the important ideas, the key highlights, and everything. Next, inferring. It is drawing upon readers' background knowledge and connecting this with new information. They are able to make informed judgments or inferences. Inferring carries students' comprehension of the text to a new level, encouraging them to create a deeper understanding between what is stated and what they know. So, and then we are down to our last reading technique or strategy, and I am so happy because it is the last one. So the last one is, you guess what? Questioning. Questioning, the ability to generate questions that demonstrates the students that are synthesizing, evaluating, and attempting to clarify what they read. This leads to greater understanding of the content and fosters further research and exploration. Okay, so that would be all for my part. I hope you have learned something in this video, because I have so much fun doing this video because there are lots of distractions, noises I have to retake lots of times. But that's okay. I think that's about it. Thank you so much. This has been your girl, Jenny Samontina. Goodbye. Peace out.
Hello guys! Are you excited to the topic that we're going to discuss to you? I think you are, but before anything else, let me introduce myself. By the way guys, I'm Melan A. Murang, taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English at Surigao State College of Technology, Clover Extension College. So for today, I will discuss to you the topic entitled Approaches in Teaching Reading. Here we go! Okay, in approaching, there are three models, and these are bottom-up, top-down, and interactive.
Okay, the reading model of bottom-up. Key features. It is a reading model that emphasizes the written or printed text, says reading is driven by a process that results in meaning, or in other words, reading is driven text and proceeds from part to whole. It stipulates that the meaning of any text must be decoded by the reader and that students are reading when they can sound out words on a page. It emphasizes the ability to decode or vote and to sound what is seen in a text. Also, it is based on the phoneme or smallest meaningful unit of sound. Readers derive meaning in a linear manner, first decoding letters, then words, phrases, and sentences to make sense of print. Rapid word recognition important to this approach, which emphasizes sight reading of words in isolation. When word recognition becomes automatic, the reader is not conscious of the process. So the main proponents of Flesch Rudolph 1955 and Goff Philip 1985 and Lovards David and Samuels G 1985. Did you get it? Okay, the next reading model is top-down. Key features. It suggests that processing of a text begins in the mind of the readers with meaning-driven processes or an assumption about the meaning of that text. The top-down approach emphasizes readers bringing meaning to text based on their experiential background and interpreting text based on their prior knowledge or whole language, a model in which top is the higher order mental concepts such as the knowledge and expectations of the reader and bottom as the physical text on the page. It was where meaning text precedence over structure. Although readers make use of sound letter correspondence and syntactic knowledge, they draw on their experiential background knowledge or schema to predict the meaning of the text and then read to confirm or correct their predictions. So the main proponents of Goodman, Kenneth 1985 and Smith, Frank 1994. Okay, the last reading model is interactive. Key features. It is a reading model that recognizes the interaction of bottom-up and top-down processes simultaneously throughout the reading process. In this model, good readers are both good decoders and good interpreters of text. Their decoding skills are becoming more automatic but no less important as their meaning skill develops. An interactive model is one which uses print as input and has meaning as output. But the reader provides input too, and the reader interacting with the text is selective in using just as little of the cues from text as necessary to construct meaning. The reader and text interact as the reader uses prior background knowledge and knowledge from the text to derive meaning. The main proponents of Rumelhart, David 1985 and Bar Rebecca, Sado, Marilyn and Blackhowicz, Camel 1990 and Rodel, Rupert and Speaker, Rupert 1985. Okay, that's all. Thank you for listening and God bless us all.
Hello, good day everyone. I am Juwime E. Etsuela, based in English 3A from SSCT Clever Extension College. And for today's video, I am going to discuss my assigned topic, which is all about the Goodell's reading skills ladder and stage of reading. So what is Goodell's reading skills ladder and stages of reading? Goodell's presented the sequence of the reading skills that learners must master before they become skilled with more complex ones. Goodell's reading skills ladders and stages of reading was developed by Grace Goodell, a retired professor of international development at the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies in Washington, D.C. So we have here 15 skills ladder. And the number 1 is the basic sight words, which are also called high-frequency sight words. They are commonly used words that young children are encouraged to memorize as whole by sight. For example, the pre-alphabet pace, which beginners connect visual attributes of the words and meaning of the words. So the next one is using phonetic analysis. Phonetic, study of speech sounds relating to the sounds of a word or to the sounds that are used in languages. Phonetic analysis, also called phonetics. It is the study of sound and symbol. Next one is using structural analysis, the process of using familiar words parts like base words, prefix, and suffix to determine the meaning of unfamiliar words, breaking down the unknown words into prefix and suffix, then into syllables. And then the next one is using contextual clues. It is the hint that the author gives to help to define a difficult or unusual words. The clue may appear within the same sentences as the word to which it refers, or it may be in a preceding or subsequent sentence. So the next one, we have here the vocabulary building. According to a language expert, WBLA, a rich vocabulary is a valuable asset and an important attribute of success in any walk of life. In other words, your vocabulary plays a large role in determining if you will succeed in life or not.
Good day everyone, my name is Renal Nahiyal and today I'll be discussing to you about good reader. Good readers choose books that are just right for them. These books are books that children can read and are not too hard or too easy. What is it? Have children choose a book by looking at the cover, author, and illustrations. Tell them read the blurb on the back cover. Have children read a page and put up a finger for each word they don't know. Then use the following guide to help them decide if the book is right for them. 0 to 1 fingers, too easy. 2 to 3 fingers, just right. 4 to 5 fingers, too hard. Why is it important? Choosing books that are just right means the text used for learning will build on children's reading skills and strategies and help them expand their skills. What is it? Provide an uninterrupted reading time in which you note a child's ability to read the text with minimal support. Why is it important? As children apply their reading strategies to more and more text, they become more fluent readers. Have children preview the cover and title of the book and make predictions about what the text will be about. Then help children set a purpose for reading by asking questions about the story that begin with who, what, when, why, where, and how. Why is it important? Setting a purpose helps children think about what to look for when they read. It helps them focus on the text and understand the story better. Good readers use ideas to make and confirm predictions. What is it? Children make predictions or guesses. They figure out what will happen next by thinking about the characters and what they do. Help children by periodically asking them what will happen next in the story. Good readers attend to characters and form opinions about them. What is it? While reading, children pay attention to characters and learn about their nature. Help children identify what the main character wants at the beginning of the story. Then ask them how the main character goes about to achieve this. Why is it important? Interpreting characters is important to helping children understand the plot of the story. Understanding the main character and their actions will help children gain a deeper understanding of the story. Why is it important? Good readers monitor their own comprehension. What is it? When meaning breaks down, good readers use the strategies of reading, reading ahead, asking questions, paraphrasing, seeking help, and visualizing to help them understand what they are reading. Why is it important? This monitor and clarify skills help readers problem solve as they read so they maintain meaning. It also helps them strengthen their reading process skills and build confidence in themselves as readers. Good readers use text features as they read. What is it? Children identify and use text features such as captions, headings, boldface type, and graphs as they read. Why is it important? Being able to identify text features will enable children to broaden their understanding of the text. Children will learn that
Many text features supply additional information to readers that is not found in the text.
Good day, everyone, especially to our instructor, Ma'am Edenglyph Sibag, and to those who don't know me yet, my name is Kit Vincent White Trujillo, taking up Bachelor of Science and Secondary Education major in English third year. And for today's discussion, I am going to discuss to you the lesson design in teaching reading, which has the part of the four-prong approach. Number 1. Genuine love for reading. The first prong aims to immerse the children in literature and develop a deep and lasting love for reading. The first step in this prong is for the teacher to find a good and interesting story or poem that is suitable to the age, interest, and vocabulary levels of the children. The teacher has to make clear to himself or herself the message of the story or poem, because his or her understanding will serve as the basis of an appropriate objective which will guide the development of the lesson. The followings should be looked into by the reading teacher. A. The words, phrases, places, and important details of the story which may hinder the children's understanding of the selection should be identified. B. Methods of clearing these obstructions should be planned. C. Unlocking of difficulties may be through a variety of ways, such as demonstrations, concentrate objects, drawings, and other forms of representation, verbal or contextual clues, and games. It is very important that the reading teacher finds means to help the children develop a love for reading. On the other hand, the children must also have a need and desire to read or listen. To do this, the teacher needs to look for an incident in the story or poem which is familiar to the children. From this, the children can be motivated to share their personal experiences and feelings. The sharing of personal experiences and feelings made by the children can be linked by the teacher to the story or poem through appropriate phrase questions to motivate the children to listen to the story. The teacher should help the children develop a desire to find out if the questions is resolved differently or not. If this is successfully done, then the children will have a motive for listening to the story. Number 2. Critical thinking. The second part is critical thinking. In this prong, the teacher asks motive questions. The manner of asking must lead the children to discover the event and beauty of the story or poem. The teacher should employ the art of questioning to lead the children to their own piece of realization. It is stressed by Raides Ladino that children are trained to reflect on the story to be accustomed to critical thinking. After this, the teacher has to prepare creative exercises that enhance children's critical thinking. In this level, the children are expected to interpret the story or poem on their own. This method helps the children develop vocabulary and listening comprehension. Having honed these skills, the children will develop a habit of critical thinking.
Hello, good day everyone. I am Eros S. Monteroso, BSN English 3A. And for today's video, I am going to discuss the matrix of the four prongs and materials resources in teaching reading. First is the matrix of the four prongs. Prong, genuine love for reading. The goal is to develop a lifetime love, habit, and enjoyment for reading. The materials is storybooks, poems, trade books, and songs. Number 2 prong is critical thinking. The goal is to develop the habit of reflecting on what is read and exercising decision making and valuing same story. mastery of the structures of the Filipino and English language, or grammar and oral language development. To develop competence in oral language, understanding and correct use of syntax to facilitate application of structures learned. The materials is post-reading activities that engage children, objects, pictures, charts. Number 3 prong is transfer stage. The goal is to develop phonemic awareness, decoding and encoding skills. The materials is worksheets and writing tablets. The next topic that I am going to discuss is the materials and resources in teaching reading. When we think of reading, most of us immediately think of stories, especially books. But there are many other types of reading materials that children can use to practice their developing reading skills. The first is magazines. There are lots of great magazines for kids, both at the newsstand and available for digital download. Number 2, comics. Don't discount the power of comics to hook kids on reading. They are a great way to teach your children about the back and forth of dialogue. Number 3, manuals. For kids who want to know how things work, manuals for things like cars, lawnmowers, and appliances can be great options and they build vocabulary too. Number 4, newspapers. If you are worried about exposing the child to news articles about crime or traumatic events, choose a local community newspaper or give your child a specific section to read that you've already vetted. Number 5, poetry. Grab a collection of poems or sit down and write some with children. Rhyming is an important skill for reading, and having your children write poems on their own is a great way to build that skill. Number 6, travel brochures. They can plan fantasy vacation and learn a bit of geography too. Number 7, encyclopedias. Did you read encyclopedias as a kid? Your student might have to read them online, but that's okay. So, start with a subject and see where it takes the two of you. Number 8 is sports programs. Hold on to the programs that you are given at sporting events and let the kids read and reread about their favorite athletes and teams. Number 9, catalogs. Mini catalogs now are so much more than just products and quick description. Have the child make wish and list a little writing too. Number 10, recipes. Cook with the kids and take turns reading the ingredients and instructions. This is a great example of real-life reading for kids of any age. Number 11, dictionaries. You might be hard-pressed to convince the children to read a dictionary from cover to cover, but give them a challenge like find a new word that starts with letter R, or find a word with 13 letters, and they will end up doing a lot of reading with a plain old dictionary. Number 12, play scripts. Explore what it might be like to be on screen or stage by reading a few scripts together. You can even put on a play after reading them. Number 13, atlases. Atlases are packed with a wealth of reference information. Not only can your child map out a great adventure, but she can also read about land formation, population, and more. Number 14, road signs. Kids start recognizing familiar signs at an early age. Keep that knowledge of environmental friend going by playing sign games on road trips. Number 15, books they write. Nothing is as powerful as reading their own writing. Encourage the child to write and his reading will get a boost too. That's all. Thank you for listening.